If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
On January 14th, 1967, 30,000 people gathered in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. They called it the Gathering of the Tribes, or the Human Being. Poets such as Allen Ginsberg chanted mantras, bands played including local favorites The Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane, and free food was served and LSD was generously distributed. Harvard professor Timothy Leary stood on the stage, a flower behind each ear, and advised the crowd to reject the normal path to success by making his famous statement, "Turn on, tune in, and drop out." It was simply a coming together, a gathering of those who sought a new world. They were referred to as the hippies, a counterculture living in the San Francisco district Haight-Ashbury. The Bean put the counterculture in the national spotlight. Newspapers began writing about San Francisco's hippies on a daily basis, which drew more people in, including tourists who wanted to see the hippies for themselves. The influx of people peaked when over 100,000 young people from across the country flocked to San Francisco for the Summer of Love. The Summer of Love was first named at a district council as the community's response to the complaints from residents about their growing numbers. It was originally an invitation to young people to come to San Francisco for the summer, to grow as human beings and bring back the message and values to their own communities. In the end, many of them came for the wrong reasons, and many of the original hippies left before the summer even started. Despite this, the lifestyle of the counterculture was spread across the nation, and it did attract many people who desired a new way of living. They rejected the norms of society, such as consumerist values, money, and working. Their communal practices and visions of universal oneness revolved around utopian idealism, and free love was at the center of their beliefs and practices. They desired to expand beyond the self and to connect to others, often through the use of psychedelics and music, to form a more loving and peaceful society. The mind-altering drug LSD was a staple of the hippie counterculture. It was used in order to evoke a new way of thinking. It was a way to deconstruct reality, ask deeper questions, and discuss them. It connected many people by giving them a strong sense of cosmic oneness and building a sense of community. It was believed that drugs could change the world, and that if everybody took LSD and turned on, then the world would be a much better place. Music and LSD went hand in hand. 1960s psychedelic rock bands also used the drug to recreate the experience of taking LSD through their music. Most artists were part of the drug's subculture, or at least had dabbled in it. Psychedelic rock bands were more interested in live performances, which were characterized by loose instrumental experimentations. This, along with flashing light patterns and effects, were meant to elicit a sense of freedom and detachment from the constraints of society. It invited listeners to enter a new universe, one in which they were not defined by anything. They were one with the music and the vibration of the crowd. The free love movement is often associated with the hippie counterculture in San Francisco during the 60s, and it was very much a part of the hippie philosophy. The free love movement is a social movement that emphasizes the separation of sex and sexual matters from the state. It is not about promoting promiscuity or having sex with multiple partners, but rather an absence of legal ties. The free love movement was at the center of the counterculture and its values. It was believed that love should be given freely to everyone and not just sexual partners, because love will be returned, and the more love that is given, the more each person will receive. They believed in the freedom to love who you wanted, when you wanted, and how you wanted. This openness did create more spontaneous sex and encourage experimentation with many sexual partners. Open relationships were part of the lifestyle, which allowed people in relationships to experiment with people they were attracted to outside of their relationship without jealousy. Other common practices involve the spiritualization of sexual experiences and the enhancement of sexual experiences using psychedelic drugs. Newspapers projected this lifestyle of open sexuality to the entire country, as well as rejection of society and the pursuit of the unknown through psychedelics and music. It caused a sexualization of culture, bringing free love towards the center of the radical picture.
You have, 'cause there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles.